you to picture a scenario. It's one that, statistically, most people are more afraid of than death itself.
Oh, public speaking.
Public speaking. You're standing in front of a room. Could be a board meeting, maybe a wedding toast, or even just a Zoom call where everyone's suddenly gone quiet. What's your body doing?
Oh, it's the classic hijacking, right?
Yeah.
Your palms are sweating, heart's trying to get out of your chest, your mouth feels like sandpaper.
Exactly. The whole fight or flight thing
Hmm.
and all the traditional wisdom we've ever heard says that this reaction, it's the enemy.
Right. Be calm. Be collected. Conquer the fear.
You have to be the Zen master of the microphone. But today, we're diving into a stack of materials that says all of that. It's just wrong.
In fact, it says if you step up to that microphone and you don't feel terrified, you're actually in big trouble.
It's a completely counterintuitive take, and the source here is, well, she's a heavyweight. We're unpacking the methodology of Nina Zvereva.
And we should probably establish who she is, because this isn't some life coach with a YouTube channel.
Far from it.
Zvereva is a legend in Russian media. She started as a TV journalist at, I think, age 8.
8 years old, yeah.
She's a 2-time TFI award winner. That's basically their Emmy. And for decades, she's been the secret weapon for, billionaires, top politicians, bank CEOs.
She teaches them not just how to speak, but how to be heard.
That's the key distinction.
And that's our mission for this deep dive, to break down her very specific formulas. And they really are formulas, almost mathematical, for everything from stage speeches to family life.
It's a masterclass in reading reality.
So let's go back to that fear. Zvereva says a calm speaker is a dead speaker. Why would we possibly want to keep the anxiety?
Well, it comes down to basic biology. It's about energy transfer. That terror you feel, that's just raw energy. It's a huge dump of adrenaline.
And her argument is you can't be charismatic without that energy.
Exactly. If you meditate until you're totally zen, you might be smooth, but you'll also be, flat. You'll be boring. The audience can feel the difference between calm and detached.
So the goal isn't to kill the butterflies.
It's to get them to fly in formation. She uses this amazing Russian term for it, kuraz.
Kuraz. It sounds a little like courage.
It's richer than that.
Right.
It implies a kind of flow state, a playful drive, a reckless excitement. It's the sparkle in your eye. It's what happens when you channel that fear energy into performance.
So step 1, stop trying to be a robot, embrace the nerves. But, fuel is useless without a steering wheel, and she has a very specific core formula for communication.
She claims this is irrefutable. It is. Goal equals expected result.
Okay, on the surface that sounds simple, but I feel a trek there. Most people think their goal is, to give the presentation.
And that is exactly the trap. Giving a presentation is just a process, not a goal. Zvereva says if you have a vague intention or 10 different goals,
I want to be funny and smart and share data.
right, then you have 0 goals. You need one singular aim, not I want to speak, but I want to reassure them or I want them to sign the contract. It's about the change you want to create in them.
It's external. Okay.
And to get that goal, she has 3 variables you have to control. They are audience, format, and moment.
Audience seems obvious, but moment and format, those felt like the real game changers here. Let's start with moment.
This was the biggest aha for me. Moment isn't just about the time. It's the emotional and psychological reality of the room right now.
Oh, that story she tells about the Nobel Prize winner illustrates this perfectly.
The Skolkovo story, yes. So imagine you've got a Nobel Prize winner, a brilliant academic, lecturing at this super prestigious event in Moscow.
Expectations are sky high.
Totally. But he walks on stage and sees no one's looking at him. Everyone is glued to their phones.
Okay, now most speakers would get offended. They'd say, put your phones away, I have a Nobel Prize.
That's the ego-driven instinct, right, to fight the audience. But that ignores the moment. What was actually happening was the Russian men's relay team was about to win gold at the Olympics.
Ah, so their hearts were at the finish line, not in the lecture hall.
Exactly. So what did he do? He respected the moment. He stopped his intro. He had the tech crew put the live ski race up on the massive screen behind him.
No way. He just watched TV with them.
He sat on the edge of the stage and watched the race with them for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And when the Russian team won, the room just exploded with joy.
I bet.
And then he stood up and said, okay, that was amazing. Now I'm going to extend the lecture by 20 minutes.
And they gave him a standing ovation, right?
Thunderous applause. Because he didn't fight their joy. He participated in it. He synchronized with the moment.
Such a powerful lesson. It's about dropping your ego. And this applies to bad moments too, doesn't it? Like a loud drill next door.
Yes. You have to acknowledge reality. If you ignore it, you look out of touch.
Okay, so that's moment. Let's talk format. I usually think of format as just, PowerPoint or memo. She sees it as something much bigger.
She sees it as theater design. It's the setting, the clothes, the rules of engagement. And her big insight is that sometimes you have to completely break the format to win.
The factory negotiation story. That sounded like a movie scene.
It really does. So a factory was being shut down. Tensions were insane. The workers saw management as these, enemies in suits from Moscow.
A really hostile audience.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the standard format is a boardroom, which just screams conflict.
Oh.
So the negotiator, using her advice, changed the format. Instead of a boardroom, he met them in the local school gym.
The gym?
The gym where they all played basketball as kids. And here's the kicker. He didn't wear a suit. He wore a tracksuit.
A tracksuit. To a high-stakes negotiation. That takes some serious courage.
It does. But think what it signaled. It said, I'm one of you. We're just guys trying to figure this out.
Right.
No table, no hierarchy.
And it worked.
Completely diffused the hostility. It went from a potential riot to a real conversation just by changing the clothes in the room.
It reminds me of her standing meeting idea.
Yes, the executive whose meetings were dragging on for 3 hours.
So he just took the chairs out.
Took the chairs out, put a magnetic board. Everyone gets 3 minutes. It turned 3-hour marathons into 30-minute sprints just by changing the furniture. That's the power of format.
Okay, so we've got the strategy, but what about the tactics? You're actually walking up to the mic, the spotlight hits. What do you do in those first few seconds?
Her first rule for the moment you step on stage is do nothing.
Nothing.
She calls it the pause. She points to YouTube stats. You have about 8 seconds to hook someone. And in a live setting, the big mistake is rushing.
You just want to get it over with. Hello, thanks for having me.
Exactly. It screams anxiety. Her advice, walk out, plant your feet, and just look at the audience. Make eye contact. Let the silence hang for a beat.
That feels terrifying.
It feels terrifying to you. To the audience, it looks like supreme confidence. It says, I'm in control. I'll speak when I'm ready.
It hooks them.
Okay, so pause. But what about preparing beforehand? I'm someone who rehearses in front of a mirror. Zvereva.
Yeah.
She hates that.
Absolutely despises the mirror.
Why? That's like the #1 piece of advice everyone gives. Because when you look in the mirror, you're not rehearsing communication. You're rehearsing vanity. You're thinking, is my tie straight? Do I look weird?
You're monitoring yourself, not connecting.
Yes, and that self-consciousness just kills the chorus.
Yeah.
She suggests the mom test instead.
Which is rehearsing in front of your mom.
Pretty much. Or just a living, breathing human who loves you. You need to see real eyes reacting to you to get the rhythm right.
Speaking of rhythm notes, I like to have a full script. She says that's a death sentence.
Because you're not speaking, you're reading. And if you lose your place, you panic, you disconnect. She uses a technique called the camel note instead.
This is my favorite tactic. Explain the camel note.
So instead of full sentences, you just write single trigger words.
Mm-hmm.
On her notepad, she might just have the word camel.
And that's it. Just camel?
Just the word. It's a trigger to remind her to tell a specific joke about bureaucracy.
The one about the horse designed by a committee?
That's the one. What is a camel? A thoroughbred Arabian horse. After a committee designed it. If she wrote that out, she'd read it. It'd be dead. But by just seeing camel, her brain unlocks the story and she tells it naturally.
It forces you to be present.
It trusts your brain to fill in the gaps, which makes you sound authentic.
She has one more tactical rule that I think applies to every meeting ever. Said equals proved.
This is the antidote to corporate fluff. We all say things like, our company is innovative. Zvereva says that statement is, well, it's empty. The audience's brain just deletes it.
So what's the fix?
You have to immediately follow the claim with a fact, a story, an example. So our company is innovative. Just last week, we patented a device that reduces energy costs by 40%.
Claim plus evidence every single time.
Every time. Without the proof, the statement just evaporates.
I want to pivot a bit from public speaking to interpersonal conflict. She has this concept of the I message.
Yes. This is a tool she says the head of Alpha Bank uses, so it's battle-tested. It's about handling conflict without starting a war. The idea is to shift from you to I.
Because you sounds like an accusation.
Always. You missed the deadline, you messed up.
Yeah.
The second you say you, the other person puts up a shield. They stop listening and start preparing their defense.
So how does the I message change that?
You talk about your own feeling. Instead of you are late, you say, I feel anxious when the project isn't ready. or I'm frustrated because I can't move forward.
It's subtle, but it's powerful. I can argue about whether I'm lazy. I can't argue about whether you feel anxious.
Exactly. It's unassailable. It disarms them. It shifts the dynamic from me versus you to us versus the problem.
And what about managing up? Dealing with an intimidating boss who has no time.
She had some ninja moves for this. One is the 13 questions.
Yeah.
She'd walk into an office and say, I have 13 questions for you. 3 are pleasant. The rest are tough.
That creates instant intrigue.
It gamifies the meeting. But my favorite is the let's draw method.
This is for when you can feel you're losing them.
Yes. If their eyes are glazing over, stop talking. Take out a blank piece of paper, a pen, and just start drawing a diagram. So here's where we are.
Why is that better than a slide?
Because it's live creation. The boss instinctively looks, and they almost can't help themselves. They'll grab a pen and start adding to it. No, move this box over here.
And suddenly you're not pitching at them, you're collaborating with them.
You've turned a passive listener into an active partner. She says it can turn a 5-minute brush-off into a 50-minute strategy session.
That is gold. Now, we're almost out of time, but I have to ask about the personal side. She calls the family a group of support.
The rear guard. I love that. A happy family is the one place where you're accepted even if you're wrong. It's the safety net that allows you to take big risks out in the world.
She also has some pretty unconventional parenting advice. The squirrel mask.
Oh, this is great. For a shy child who's terrified to recite a poem, she says to put a mask on them. A squirrel, a bunny, a superhero.
It sounds funny, but it makes perfect psychological sense.
It's dissociation, right? It lowers the stakes. The child isn't performing, the squirrel is. It allows the child to borrow the courage of the character.
We do that as adults, too. We put on our manager mask.
All the time.
Right.
But there's a balance. Because her final piece of wisdom is about taking the mask off.
Right. She talks about seeing a photo of herself at age 18.
And she was shocked. She was wearing what she called gypsy jewelry. Just layers and layers of beads and bright colors.
And she realized she was hiding.
Exactly. She didn't feel like her voice was enough, so she tried to compensate with this loud costume.
And her advice to her younger self was,
strip it away. The audience doesn't want the jewelry or the jargon or the business robot. They just want you.
And that's the paradox, isn't it? We've talked about all these formulas and tactics, but it all comes down to authenticity.
Authenticity in your own lived experience. She says that's your most valuable currency. If you can communicate that clearly, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real.
Which brings us back to her personal motto. Don't say no to yourself.
That's the big one. Let the world say no to you. Let the client say no. But never, ever reject yourself before you even walk in the room. If you say no to yourself, the failure rate is 100%.
So here's the challenge for everyone listening. The next time you feel that heart pounding, don't try to calm down. Recognize it as energy. Check your format, read the moment, and find your karaz.
And maybe leave the heavy jewelry at home.
That is a wrap on Nina Zvereva's masterclass in communication. Thanks for diving in with us.
See you next time.